Let's go through this. All right. So
what is going on at the bottom of the screen right now?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I was a little confused. I was like,
I was
is this a green screen? Are we on a green screen right now?
I'm going to get this off.
Is that Jeff Risdon joining us?
No, that's definitely not Jeff Risdon.
Bad Baby's trying to do NFL commentary now, apparently.
The first one in the first round is Nick Scourton.
Wow. I need to get more familiar with Nick Scourton. If I'm just being honest with you boys. I haven't.
No, I think Klotzy's a little hard on Nick Scourton. I need to see. But here's the thing me and Klotzy will align with. Here's the thing me and Klotzy will align with. I really like Nick Scourton. Like, I like him. Like, if they took him, I wouldn't be mad. But he's probably not a guy, like, out of the options I would be, like, I'm the most in love with. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be. But I think Klotzy's like, the guy. What'd you say? Did you compare him to like Josh Pascal?
He's like, okay, maybe he might pan out better than Josh Pascal.
No.
He's not.
This is like we're talking. Is Nick Scourton a true edge? No.
Yes.
What? No.
That was such a
getting to the quarterback. Like
10 sacks at Purdue. Top 2 in the Big Ten.
At when he's at Texas. He had 1 year at Purdue. Derek Barnes had a year where he had 7.5 sacks at Purdue. Okay, how often has he gotten to the quarterback? And he's been on the edge. When you look at Nick Scourton, he is a power rusher, yes. But what is he? What is the whole reason that's preventing him from being a top 15 pick, top 20 pick? He's a tweener. I have seen enough tweeners in Detroit. We can all agree at this point, for the Lions to need a Super Bowl, they need a 3-down edge rusher. Okay, not somebody that can play. You know what? He's good at the edge, but if you bump him down to 3-tech, he can play there. 5-tech, no.
He's not
Give me an edge rusher. Give me an edge rusher.
Donovan,
he's a rock. Pretty much, you can name all the guys that Shamar Stewart I'd rather have in the first round than Nick Scourton for the upside. Nick Scourton would be a very
wait a second.
player.
To be fair, Klotz, his snap count.
Build. No, give me a guy that can get to the quarterback with athleticism on the edge.
Tell him, Boone.
Size.
I mean, he's just Klotz, his snap count was 500 snaps. We're really 504 outside of the tackle, 39 over the tackle, and 15 in the B gap.
He's not a tweener.
He's not. He is a strictly edge.
Klotz, watch him at Purdue.
Every breakdown we have done on Nick Scourton, every analyst I have seen talk about Nick Scourton, they talk about him translating to the NFL as a tweener. He's not big enough to be a 3-down edge on the outside. I have seen enough.
Those guys
telling me that Nick Scourton
a wide receiver
is the perfect fit at
Lamar
the edge position for the Detroit Lions. We've had this conversation multiple times. And you know what the conversation always is? Yeah, he's a kind of a tweener. We've seen it. We have all brought up the name Josh Pascal when comparing him to Nick Scourton. So now we're seeing an article where it's saying, he's the perfect fit for the Lions in the first round. No, the fuck he isn't. Maybe in the second round. Lions trade up in the second round. I wouldn't be too bad. But no, not in the first round. James Jr. would be a perfect fit. Mike Green, Donovan.
I think Jeff.
I mean, you're talking about
6 guys.
You're talking about top 20. You're talking about top 20 picks, Klotz.
Well, and I also think. To be
28.
fair, I think Jeff's factoring in Boone, like Lions guys, like not like us. We agree that we would take James Pierce. I don't know if Jeff's like. I think he talked about it.
That's fair. He maybe eliminates James Pierce based off of that because there are a lot of people out there. And honestly, like if we're being honest with ourselves, and we really haven't been over the last month. I mean, I'm someone that's done it. Like the chances of James Pierce really being a Detroit Lion is probably very low. Like if he does have character issues and that's a real thing, we keep bringing up. And this is something that I do it. And every time someone does it, I'm like, it makes sense. But we fall back on they've already built the culture. Like it's going to be perfectly fine. But we could say that all we want. They still don't draft those types of guys with culture issues. They don't. So like, if we are being honest, then Nick Scourton, like if that's a Dan Campbell guy, like let's eliminate James Pierce. Donovan, he's a rock. Obviously, Klotzy, he's a Raku, and Mike Green. Those are top 15 potential picks. Like obviously the best fit in the first round. You'd love that availability in the first round. I'm not saying I'm in love with the Nick Scourton one. I've been vocal that I think when Nick Scourton was at Texas A&M, him and Shamar Stewart both got hosed just based off of their defensive scheme and how they were basically just a run defense first. And they basically told like this is a legit thing. I can't remember who I don't think we talked to someone about it, but I watched like an hour-long video about Texas A&M and their defense, and him going from Purdue 10.5 sacks to Texas A&M. Like that was there's a reason his sacks dropped off significantly and Shamar Stewart barely had any sacks. It wasn't because they weren't good.
not saying that these guys aren't good, but when you're talking about getting to the quarterback, that's what the Lions need. How many sacks did Nick Scourton have last year? And you can go. I get what you're saying, Booner, as far as scheme, run fit. Every team in the NFL is going to tell you, stop the run first. The Lions, especially, that's what they make their defense on. Give me a guy that is a true. If you were going in the first round, if this pops up second round, I'm not as mad. But if you're talking about first round, if you're taking an edge rusher, it better be a guy that can get to the quarterback consistently, because there's guys that are going to be available there that have done that. If we're talking second round, different conversation. But first round, Nick Scourton is somewhat of a reach, in my opinion. That's just like, you know what? There's probably nobody else better there. Get Nick Scourton because he's a defensive end and he's got some first round grades. Like I saw the comment, if the Eagles or Chiefs took him, like I'm not panicking compared to the level if they were to take James Pierce, who we just had a conversation on, saying that he could potentially fall. And now it's like, hey, Nick Scourton's on the board or Ray Shea. No, like we just had a conversation how James Pierce is very available for the Lions if he starts falling. Nick Scourton, it's like, okay, Nick Scourton is probably like a beginning of the second round type of player. So am I saying that's the perfect fit for the Lions in the first round? Absolutely not. Not terrible. He's not a terrible player, but transitioning to the NFL, I want a guy that's on the opposite side of Hutch that can get to the quarterback consistently. And there's some question marks with that with Nick Scourton. I understand at Purdue, but now then he gets to Texas A&M and he's around a couple first-round guys, couple top 3 guys. Like, he's not a bad player. I'm not saying he's bad, but I'm taking him in the second round, not the first.
Hey, what's going on there? It's Jeff Iafrate. Appreciate you for finishing the video. You can check out one of the videos here suggested or show support by commenting, liking, and subscribing. And buy your merchandise, officialctsports.com.